Welcome to the first episode of the Gentsmen Podcast. I'm your host, Ray. And basically, today, what we're going to talk about, obviously, is the Ayesha Curry thing because it's trending. And I thought maybe I should, go into it a little bit. Go into uh it, talk about it a little bit or whatnot. So if you haven't heard what was said, let me pull it up real quick. All right. So here you go, right here.
That really bothers me and honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that there are all these women throwing themselves, but me the past 10 years I don't have any of that. I have zero, this sounds weird, but male attention. And so then I begin to internalize it and I'm like, is something wrong with
You're
me?
not, you're not looking.
what?
You're not
Like-
looking. You're not even.
But I'm gonna tell you something else too.
So obviously people cut it off right after she says it. And I think they kind of break it up. But they did say, oh, she's not looking. And then she went on to say that she doesn't want it, but it would be nice or whatnot. So basically, to me, a lot of people are for one, trying to say that Steph Curry is not giving her enough attention. And it's like, nah, bruh, that ain't it. And it's really a lot of women because, a lot of women don't watch basketball. So if you actually watch the basketball games, you would see them come in, he's very a family orientated man. Like since it's the playoffs now, the family is at every game, which you saw in that episode, it was her, Steph's mom, and Steph's sister. So they definitely very family oriented. But kind of like looking back, giving some background for what she kind of said. They've been together 10 years. So this is spans before his NBA career even started. So you got to think that some of that insecurity comes from her knowing him better, could come from, hypothetically, because we don't really know. We can only really take it at face value. But she knows Steph for a while. So who Steph was before, obviously he's not now. Before she probably got male attention before he blew up. You know, she probably was getting more male attention than Steph was getting female attention because that's how it is in most relationships. Your woman gets looked at more than you're gonna get looked at as a guy, or in other situations. For the most part, if your woman is pretty, she's gonna get, even if she isn't pretty to everyone's standard, all women get hollered at, no matter what they look like. Somebody wants them. You know what I'm saying? And men are natural hunters, so we naturally gonna approach women more than women are going to approach us. So, being that she knew him before, she could still be looking at him as this same old stuff, and it's like, why y'all even like him? Like, come, like, I'm beautiful. You know what I'm saying too? Like, why I can't get what he's getting? And also because of his status, you would think she's probably thinking, just because he's so big and I'm always with him, why isn't guys throwing themselves at me? Because I'm in the limelight too. People see me. I know they see me. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of probably messing with her. The other thing is, like I said, in the average relationship, women get approached more than a guy. Women are used to being the center of attention, even in their relationship. They're used to being acknowledged first, getting hollered at, getting DMs, you know what I'm saying, getting texts from their exes. You know what I mean? They're used to that. Guys, it's not too many of us that women actually approach. You have to be an amazing looking guy for a female to talk to you. And even then, she might not talk to you. She might be like, nah, I'm gonna let him talk to me. Or they have to see that you have nice things. You pull up in a Benz. You pull up in a Lexus. You pull up in a Lambo. You pull up in a Maserati. A female might come and try to holler at you, you know? But for the most part, women aren't approaching men. Men usually approach women. So You got to think how her ego as a woman might be affected, especially she got kids, especially after having kids. So she's probably feeling like I'm not attractive anymore. I'm getting older. She might be feeling that way. And then you see your man is getting this attention from women, and that she know that's not the norm. Women don't normally throw themselves at a guy. So to see all these women throwing themselves at Steph, and another thing is because she getting older, her body changing and stuff like that, she might be seeing women who might be more prominent than her. Because even though she has some success, she might be like, well, Steph helped me with that. He did that. And she's probably looking at these women that are throwing themselves at him who got it on their own. Uh, I don't know if women can tell if a girl's body is fake with clothes on. I don't know if y'all can tell or whatnot, if you can tell. But she's probably like, wow, that woman looks beautiful. She looks amazing, because that's one thing about women. They'll be like, girl, you cute, you pretty. They'll compliment another woman. So naturally, a woman knows when another female looks better than her. She knows. So you seeing these females that look better than you throwing themselves at your man, and they're successful as well in whatever capacity that they're in, it could be a little intimidating. So now she's like, man, I would love to have guys' attention. Because like she said, it's an insecurity because she feeling like maybe she's not enough anymore. She could be in a place where she's like, I don't think I'm good enough for Steph. And I know you might have had that in a prior relationship that you might have had. If you're listening to this, you might be like, dang, I know this one person that I talked to, man, I just feel like I wasn't enough. That could be how she feeling right now. But the other crazy thing was, in that same breath, she was like, I hate that, he's getting that attention, basically, to sum it up. And then she went on to say that she wanted the attention. But speaking on back to the average person, it's like, how can I put this? Women in my culture don't want a friendly guy. They don't like a guy who's friendly. They don't like a guy who will talk to a female, look at a female like a female, pick on Instagram, any of that. But they'll want males' attention. They'll want the likes. That's why they might post the pictures that they do. So it's kind of like a double standard, like how us men have double standards, but it's like a double standard with that. But the other thing is, one point I would like to for people to look at, it's like some women wants to have a backup plan to the guy that they're with. And that's one reason why they might want guys to continue to get at them, why they might somewhat entertain it but not entertain it. Because one, relationships aren't working out like that these days. So let's just keep it 100 there. The other thing is, that's just women. They crave attention. It's just like that. And guys, if you're a guy listening to this, man, bro, don't let this keep you from getting into a relationship, because that's how some women are. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women are like that. They want the attention. They want the validation from other guys. They want to be told they're beautiful. You know, and they're going to have the backup guy. You might not ever know it. Women sometimes will be like, you know what? These 4 or 5 guys tried to talk to me today and I turned them down. But it might have been a 6th guy that tried to talk to him and they kept the number. You'll never know. That's why for me, if I'm a guy, obviously I am a guy. Anyways, if I'm you and I'm with a beautiful woman, bro, continue to focus on you and be the best person that you can be at the end of the day. The other thing I was going to say is, it's a slippery slope, for people to think it's okay to approach a married person. Because, for most part, up until the last maybe 10, 20 years, people really kind of been like, oh, they married. You know what I'm saying? Even though guys respect married women a little bit more than women respect married men, because that's kind of like a phase that people go through. They want to talk to a married guy, which doesn't make more sense. A lot of times, I'm put it like this. It kind of seems like women don't want a guy that other women don't want. They want to be like, yeah, I got him. See, girl, you ain't got him. You know what I'm saying? But it's a slippery slope. And the reason why it's a slippery slope is because it'll start opening up for people to get approached. Like, okay, well, if Aisha's thinking like that, and it's a lot of women agreeing with her, bro, okay, bet I'm gonna still shoot my shot, even though I know she married because, hey, she probably wants some male attention. Maybe her guy ain't giving her the attention, and it goes down a slippery slope. It could be problematic. Also, a, some women say that they cheated because of the lack of attention. And the some that say that and some that do that, because a lot of women would just leave. They just be like, if they marry irreconcilable differences, move on. But some will stay and some will just cheat. And the some that cheat and it's because of lack of attention, some of them be lying. You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin Hart kind of said, he was like, he had the female in the back of the trunk. She hopped out, ran home. When he pulled up, long story short, she made him think that, damn, was she really in the car? And they will play mind games like that. They'll try and reverse and flip it like, nah, you wasn't giving me attention. When that's not the case. That's why be wary, women too, be wary of somebody who says, entertain me on social media because your attention will never be good enough. It'll never be good enough. So it's like, don't even entertain that person. Try to pull up something real quick on my phone. Because it's a disorder out there. It's called HPD, histrionic personality disorder. And basically it's characterized by a pattern of excessive attention-seeking emotions. It usually begins in early adulthood, including inappropriately seductive behavior and excessive need for approval. A lot of people suffer from that. A lot of people got HPD. You know what I'm saying? We see that a lot with certain IG models. They'll be half naked. They'll be like, bro, why? Or that could be the reason why they might go get their body done. But like I said, you got to be wary of those type of people, attention seeking, because it's never be enough. And then when they grow unhappy because your attention now is not enough for them, and they cheat, they be like, "You wasn't giving me enough attention." You was like, "Bruh." It's almost like the Bobby Womack thing. If you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight because I ain't gonna be here. It's like sometimes with certain people, like I said, that's why you gotta look for that. Your attention is not gonna be enough. And the signs are there. You just gotta see what they be talking about, look at their social media. But my issue with Aisha coming out and saying this is because of the few women who will take this and spin it. They'll spin it to be like, well, I can have guy friends. I need that affirmation. I need that validation. And they'll slowly tweak it and twist it to bend to their need. So when you be like, why you posting that picture? Well, I want to feel like I still got it. I mean, I'm not the only female that think that way. And that get them a couple of DMs. And then now they're trying, it's a slippery slope. It go from just saying, hey, thank you for thinking I'm beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And then it leads to other things because women start to get emotionally involved and they start to do other things. And the other thing, it's a thrill. It's a thrill. When you're doing something that you know you're not supposed to do, it's thrilling. You know what I'm saying? When you get that forbidden fruit, it's a thrill. You remember everything, every little thing heightens, all the senses heighten. You'll remember like, yeah, I did it here, I did it there. And it it's like, for instance, when you were the underdog and you succeed, it feels good because you weren't supposed to be there. It was almost forbidden. It was like, nah, that ain't finna happen. So once that happens for you, it's fulfilling. Same thing with when a person cheats, especially in a marriage. It's a thrill. They might not have their relationship might not be thrilling anymore. And that just lures them in. So you have to be wary of that. You know what I'm saying? Um but the one thing I do like is that she was honest. And I think that as a guy, you should want your woman to be honest. Now, I think they should have had this conversation in private, which in the earlier in the red table talk, she did say that her and Steph talked about him not introducing her sometime. So if they talked about that, I'm pretty sure they talked about this. You know what I mean? But I like an honest woman because if this is going on, I would like to know. Would I really want a woman like this? Not really. But I mean, a lot of women are like this. I mean, that's just how it is. So I'd rather women be honest with me about it than lie to me about it or not say anything at all. And then when she ends up, when if it leads to her cheating, then this, and that is said. But it's like, well, you could have just told me. So I think her being honest, like kind of like Steph said, is good because you want somebody to tell you these things. Now, you might not want them to say it to everybody because, for instance, going back to the average relationship, if the average woman said this, her DMs would be on fire. And it's nothing that that guy can do. If she's possibly spots somebody who's doing better than the guy that she got, especially if they're going through something, it's kind of like the movie Temptation by Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's probably I would have an issue with that as a average guy didn't if my woman said it in a public manner because some do. I've seen these type of posts before on Facebook. Some people do. And it's like as a regular guy, it's not really much you can do. That's why I think Steph came out and said what he said. Because let's be honest, bro. If I'm Steph, it's like, oh, that's how you feel? Okay, cool. Thanks for speaking your truth. How can you be mad? The reason why I'm saying how can you be mad? Because honestly, what guy is gonna shoot they shot and she cheat with them and she be upgrading? Like think about it from that point of view. She can't really upgrade from him. If she messes up and she cheats or something like that, he can upgrade more so than she can. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm Steph, I'm not really worried about it because, hey, mess up if you want to. And that's why I think he came out and he defended her because at the end of the day, he's worth a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can tell he's a family guy. He wants his kids in the same house with him. But if it ever went left, he can do better. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't, as a man in Steph's stature, I wouldn't be worried about it because the guys that's going to try and get at her, they're not doing better than me. Versus if well, I am an average guy. If my woman, if I had a woman, did that to me, it's like it might be a guy that hop in it that would handle his finances better, better looking, all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So as an average guy, we're more worried about it happening with our females and our females saying that because some guy might be in her DM that might look way better than us, got way more than us, and might just be let's just say hypothetically speaking, a better human being, a better guy than us. So that's the issue with that. Because like I said, you want your woman to be honest. The other thing about it is going to the 48 laws of power. It's like when I'm put it like this. This is what's said. Honesty is a blunt instrument. It bloodies more than it cuts. Honesty can be brutal. Being honest, especially in the public eye, it's a badge. It's gonna bloody more than it cuts. As you see, she got a lot of backlash from it, from mostly dudes and some women, but mostly dudes. The other thing is when you talk too much, you put you put yourself at the mercy of the listener. So basically, when she was honest and she said this in that public manner, she put herself at the mercy of us, of the listener. And that's why you have to be wary of the things you say and be wary of the company that you keep. Because when people get to talking too much and telling your business, you're at the mercy of whoever hears it. The wrong person can hear it. Your boss can hear it. So that's the thing with that. I wish you would have kept this private, but I like it because a lot of women are exposing themselves not with who feel like how she feel in the, how can I say this, in a sincere way that she feel it, but the women who are like all women cheat. Women have work husbands. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm a guy right now, I'm Birdman rubbing my hands because now I get to see what type of woman. If I like this female and I'm like, dang, she kind of cute, I might try and shoot my shot. And she went left, like, yeah, women cheat anyway. They be at work with their work husband. Okay, check that one off my list. That's a scratch through. So you use things like this if you're a guy as a way to kind of see what the female that you think that you like thinks. Like if I'm a guy and I'm in a relationship, I'm going to talk to my woman about this. I'm going to see what she says. Or if you a guy dating a guy or whoever your spouse is, you go see, now you can see what's going on, how that person really feel. You start those conversations and it could either go left, it can go to a healthy place, or it could go left. You know what I'm saying? It could go bad. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a guy that's not with nobody, the next female you talk to, it can help you with your vetting process. So that's why this is a good thing. So if you're a guy and you get married, moving forward, my advice would just be to get a prenup. You know, if you feel some type of way, if you feel like you're gonna lose your woman, get a prenup. So if she leaves you, at least you get to keep the house. Because I mean, if you be with a woman 20 years and you 45 and you try to get a new female and you be like, I ain't got no house, I got an apartment. She might be looking at you sideways. But thank you for listening. Like I said, this is how I feel about it. I think it was good. It started some healthy conversations. It's some hypocrisy on both sides. It's some people being hypocritical. But hey, it is what it is because it started something good and bad. It helped people open up their eyes to things that they might not have, you know what I'm saying, looked at. It could have saved some people marriage. Some married guy might have been iffy on his attention to his woman or iffy on what he do for her. And now this opened his eyes. It's like, oh man, maybe I should check for this. Maybe I should check for that. Even guys who have, you know, kids with a woman, they might check on her, make sure she's straight, make sure she feel like she still wanted it. It just, to me, started some healthy conversations. It started some toxic ones too. But it's moving us somewhat in a better direction. It just depends. Because like I said, some people could twist this and use this to cheat. Because I mean, in the urban culture, most women think guys ain't ish anyway. They be like, all guys cheat. So now they could be like, see, it's my reason to cheat. You know, I mean, it can go either way. But if if you're a guy, talk to your woman. If you're a woman, be honest with your guy. If you really like him. Oh, one thing in the future, what I'm thinking about talking about is if you're a guy and you try to get at this woman and you're competing with another guy, I don't think you should compete. Quit talking to her because if she likes him more than you might end up getting her and be like, yeah, I got her. Yeah. But if she wanted him, she's always gonna end up going back and talking to him. I know from experience. But thank y'all for tuning. Not thank y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And hey, this was the first episode of Gentsmen Podcast. I'm out.